But in growing up, it's funny. We in North Carolina, my wife and I lived in a couple different places, and up in Boone, up in the mountains. Yes, it was named after Daniel Boone. And we lived up in Boone, and out in the mountains. I mean, and I was up in the woods, and you can get out in some places where, well, you ain't from there, right? I mean, I was looking for directions one time, and I was lost, obviously. I had gone down the wrong road, obviously. I mean, the last time I had seen a sign, period, was a few miles back. I mean, there wasn't no sign for nothing out there. And I pulled up, and the kid was changing a light bulb on the front porch with a pocket knife. He had one of those. He had one of those sleeveless jackets on, and it wasn't that cold, but he had one of those sleeveless jackets on, and he was up on the chair, up on the porch, changing the pocket knife. He was changing the light with a pocket knife. And I looked at him, I got out of the truck and walked up to him and asked him for directions to a friend's house, and he looked at me and he said, "You're lost, aren't you?" How'd you guess? But I didn't get smart out with you or sarcastic with him, because he did have the pocket knife changing the light. But one of the times we had gotten out way back in the woods, and we actually got to our friend's house, different place. But the lady across the street, she had lived in this one house on the edge of the mountain. Beautiful, just a beautiful, gorgeous area. Wonderful, especially in the fall. If you ever get a chance to go up in the woods there, in the mountains, it's awesome to see the leaves as they change in different colors. It's just like God put a rainbow down on the mountains. It's just gorgeous, beautiful. But we could always tell how far back in the woods we were in the South by how many syllables words have. If you never traveled, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, the word yes, Y-E-S, right? How many syllables? It's got one. Well, you meet some kids up there and they go, "Yeah, yes, ma'am." And how many is that? 5. And so her name was Miss Brown. Very nice little lady, right? Wonderful, wonderful lady. Hope she's still around. But she was a great friend to our friends Paul and Heather, who lived right across the road. And they had 2 little kids, and the kids would run across the street, run across the road and play in their yard, and she'd send them back, and he'd run across and go back, and parking. But Mrs. Brown, 2 or 3, depending on what day it was. What's your name? Bryce's Brown. And she wasn't tipping off any of the stuff she was making in the backyard either. Good. You know what I'm talking about. All right, it was the South. Well, they're progressive. No, not that progressive. No, but Mrs. Brown, she went to the Baptist church. Baptist. First time Heather introduced me to Mrs. Brown, I walked over and I said, blah, 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 and of course that worked. And so you can always tell where people are from, because they tell you what, their last name, how long they lived there, and which church they go to in the first sentences. I go to the Baptist church. And I looked at Heather and I said, "What church?" And it was Baptist. She looked at me and she said, "Oh, got it. Yes, ma'am. Oh, wonderful. Nice to meet you. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely." We got snowed in one night up there at Paul and Heather's house. And it was really hard convincing my boss that we had snowed in, because it had snowed up on the mountaintop, but it had not snowed down in Boone. And so when I called him the next morning and I said, I'm going to be late for work, he said, "Why?" I said, "Because it snowed." And he said, "Right. Where are you?" I said, "At a friend's house across from Mrs. Brown." He said, "Oh, tell her I said hello."